Okay, so I got to say this, yeah, because I just got a little message from XApp, yeah, and it's better heard because this is not heard otherwise, yeah. It says the age of Earth, estimated to be 4.54 billion years, is significant for a number of reasons, including formation of the solar system. The sun began fusing hydrogen into helium around 4.55 billion years ago. And Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars formed around 4.5 billion years ago. I have been doing movementless yoga, healthy natural breathing, and at some point I began saying, I'm doing movementless Surya Namaskar. Yeah, that's like the sun. There's this idea of Hanuman swallowing the sun, or attempting to swallow the sun, or yeah, swallowing the sun, and then the gods says, better to not do that because then the solar system, for example, would be in darkness. Yeah, and um, but there is this idea of Hanuman swallowing the sun, or some such, that kind of an idea, and I think that's an allegory for what happens when you're doing healthier natural breathing. Hanuman is known for, he's also called the Vayuputra. I'm thinking it's an allegory. Also referenced in Mr. Amish Tripathi's Shiva trilogy. Yeah, where there's this idea of the Vayuputras. Okay, and folklore across many generations have seen um, mythology as it's from gods and the demons, not being able to relate with it because of also how the stories have passed down, and a lot of um, mythical or imagined aspects have also, or things that they couldn't imagine. It just got a little more wow, wow, yeah. And then that added its own layers to the story, such that when it's passed down, it's a little effulgent. It's got more wow factors that when you're seeing, then you're saying that's not humanly possible. That's for gods and demons, and um, these are not human creatures. These are not human formations because they're a little more effulgent. Yeah, a little too much to comprehend. Hanuman, Vayuputra, must have been doing healthy natural breathing, by which there's this idea of Hanuman, chest, and then there's Rama and Sita in the heart. When you're doing healthy natural breathing, the masculine and the feminine aspects of our own body. Now, our tail is tucked in our body. And so we had an ape-based ancestry, uh, evolutionary cycles. And over time is when humans begin to, from around crouch to being able to stand up straight. So we have our spine that is more aligned and feet round, you know, body standing up, head right upright, and then eyes facing forward. Now, which means our body already has two sides. It's been called the masculine and the feminine, or the Ida and Pingala. When we are breathing healthy naturally, we're not going into, masculine aspects or feminine aspects where one is better than the other. There's domineering one versus the other. Though, when we are doing a seiza, that is when you're sitting Japanese style, when you're sitting on your ankles, when you sit on your ankles, that means you fold your knees and you sit on your ankles. The left great toe is placed on the right great toe. Yeah, there is this uh, kind of there is some sort of a significance with that, where you do the left thing, but you do the right thing a little less, not too much. Yeah. So the right is not overthrowing the left. Yeah. The left is always dominant, has a um, has a significance, because the left, or what has formed the life as we are living, has formed over several traditions, several times. And then there is the right that we're doing. That's why when we are, say, walking across the road, they say, look left, then right, then again left, and then go. So when we are march passing, we say left, 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 right, left. So left is more prominent than the right. Yeah. Um, these are all related thought lines, because when we are born, what we are left with is also what has come down from several traditions. So being mindful of what has developed over several cycles of evolution, and then paying attention to what is now kind of missing, looking from how did this come? And then looking at everything is not a problem. Some small little something is a problem. Identify what the problem is and only solve that. So that becomes better. So what is left today is better than what was yesterday, how it was yesterday. So the tradition continues, it's just better. So the bitter, like making the bitter butter, better butter, better butter. By only making adjustments only in that little place where it is, where you're identifying for sure, okay, this is what's causing the problem. And you only make a solution there. Now, when I started doing healthy naturopathy then, yeah, what I'm doing from my body is also healing the fabric of time space, which means I'm healing inflammation from my body's already natural physiology. From the smooth muscles, skeletal muscles, the nervous system as is, the blood, the lymph, the fascia, my whole body system, the way it is. By the cyclical processes, that's also my own body, which means there are physiological cyclical processes by harmonic ultradian rhythms, which means there is a certain harmony by which the body maintains physiology, by which a body is a human body. It's a humane physiology, which is why the heart is functioning in tandem with the respiratory system, is functioning in tandem with the musculoskeletal system, is functioning in tandem with the nervous system, is functioning in tandem with 12 organ systems. They're all functioning in tandem. And somewhere there is a, like somewhere not so fine. And then you pay attention to the details, and then the system is already there. The natural process is already there. There is just something, it's like a little greased, like oil, a little greased. Or there is precipitated from, say, undigested material, okay, microplastics, yeah. Or some crystal, yeah. Or something that you ate, fertilizer, yeah. Or that tissue did not breathe for some time. Even if you're just going to just sit for some time, there's going to be fuzz, for example, fascia forming a little, they get a little congealed. They become a little more fixated than being more fluid and then, yeah, functioning. So it becomes a little cookied, yeah, like a little stagnant, not so flowing. It could be just fascia, it could be muscle, it could be bone. Anything that is not moving for some time becomes a little stagnant. Our body is designed to move and regularly move. So when we are not moving, say for some time, it becomes a little cookied, a little firm, yeah, not so easily movable. Like, for example, our bones get ossified from not moving as well as kids. Kids move in all kinds of directions. And then as we are growing up, we're not moving as much as kids. So our bones get a little ossified. And when we don't move more, for more longer, we are sitting for longer time, the bones are still a little more ossified. You're not as much moving. For example, the sacral bone, it's said to be fused. Around 5 bones fused, but it's not really fused. It's got to have a certain mobility. You get a lower back pain when you haven't been moving for a long time. And when you start moving your lower back, the sacral bone begins to start functioning. And then it's called the craniosacral rhythm. Yeah. There's a certain dynamics by which the spine communicates through the vertebral column with the skull. And then there is a complementary movement. Yeah. Where when this skull moves a certain way, the sacral bone also moves a certain way. And these two form a nice little seesaw. Yeah. Beautiful it is. It just functions nicely. And then the whole vertebral column supports the whole body. It's kind of like a book. There's this kind of movement, and then there is this kind of movement. Left versus right side of the body. There's this kind of movement between top and bottom of the body. There's ew. I already said this kind of movement. Yeah. So there is this kind of movement and this kind of movement. Yeah. It's like a book, kind of opens like this a little bit. Yeah. And then there's extensors and flexors in our body, which then have their own similar, this kind of movement. They're complementary. They function together. When we are, say, moving a hand like this, there are flexors on one side, extensors on one side, and they need to complementarily function for us to voluntarily be able to do this. Similarly, every set of muscle, every organ system have this complementary flexor extensor complement by which it's a mechanical structure too, yeah, but it's an organic muscular structure. Also, there's also bones. That's not just muscles, yeah. We got nerves and we got so many things. We also got skin, which is again stretchy, yeah, nice stretchy. Our body functions by at least 10 vayus, 5 vayus, 5 upavayus, yeah. And these 10 vayus function in our body differently because we have 10 holes that makes our body. And each of these holes are directed in different directions. For example, ears have one facing this side and one facing this side. Eyes are facing one direction. Nose facing one direction but downwards. Mouth is facing forward. And our 3 holes in between our legs are in 3 different locations. Yeah. And facing different directions because our body is not flat. It's got a certain curve. Yeah. So there are like 3 different directions in that sense. But related. They're all related in the same body. And that's for an example. Now our skin has so many holes. We're like dosa. Yeah. Lots of holes. And our skin is facing like so many directions. Yeah. So we can't just say only left and then this way and then front and then back and then up. No, there is also a diagonal to the diagonal. Yeah. This direction. Yeah. So we are like n dimensions. We got so many dimensions to how many sides our skin is faced. Also, there's this way, yeah. And they're so small holes, you can't even see them. Yeah, even if you take a microscope, yeah, it takes some work. The point is, in the previous video, I spoke about basing our Shri Chakra from 10 holes. That's a representative 10 holes. Because the 10 gets multiplied when we consider that our skin is functioning by so many holes. I think the skin is our Sahasrara. Yeah, I was doing some research today, ongoingly. Yeah, and I discovered our sense organs. There are 7 in the face itself. Yeah, in the sense, 2 for hearing, 2 holes for hearing, 2 holes for seeing, 2 holes for smelling, 1 mouth. 7 holes here itself. It's kind of like, you see this connection? It's like this is like an R. Okay, kind of like here, like that. Yeah. From here. Yeah. Now, if we consider that our ears are for pace or gajanana, like we have the idea of the elephant, the ears, gajanana, it's also like pace, time, speed. Yeah. And left and right sides are also coordinated by left and right hemispheres. And when we consider that our body is also formed by information, over, say, even from the fetus we grew up. Yeah. Which means our skin has been woven over several times from the fetus time. Yeah. When our sense organs kind of all got the information together and formed their body. So people who may be deaf still have their skin, their body functioning, human body. So they're processing information also from the skin, from the whole body, even if they can't hear. So they are hearing by not hearing. They're hearing in a human way, from a human body physiology. Yeah. So people who can't see, they're still seeing because their body tissue is sensing, feeling, seeing from a conglomerate science, from a conglomerate. You cannot say synesthesia. It's not. It's just that a body is formed in such a way that everything is related with everything. Yeah. And you see special abilities. No, it's just that we function by what we have. We have eyes, ears, nose, mouth, limbs. Those who don't are alive. They are still functioning by what they have. And it's a body that's human. Having said that, so the way I see it, our body, our skin is doing the Sahasrara. We have sense organs, and it's kind of multiplied many ways from the chakra, at least the 7 chakras. Yeah. Body is formed by 7 chakras at least. And the skin is kind of doing the math. When we are breathing healthy naturally, and I've been saying I've been healing the fabric of time space. So it's like the sun keeping the light of love, maturing care to love to true love. That's like the sun began fusing hydrogen into helium around 4.55 billion years ago. Sometime in our human history, people began hydrogenating water. We call it the Kangen water. And at least that's a brand I know about. I know there are other brands too. And I'm breathing healthier naturally. So what that also means is patterns. Now my body functions, at least there are 7 layers. They're called dhatus. So when I'm healing the fabric of time space, I'm basically just healing my own body. The effects on my own body from, say, the gadgets or, I'm speaking with different kinds of people with different kinds of health habits, eating habits, health maintenance practices. For example, some people do obsessive compulsive breathing, which then has an effect on their own body. And then when I'm interacting with them, their circadian rhythms have an effect on my circadian rhythms. So to that extent, my circadian rhythms are functioning as well or not. It's kind of my circadian rhythms are a little affected, yeah, by their processes. And then what happens is it's like a human body is like a body clock with many kinds of wheels. And when others' rhythms are affecting my rhythms, it's like some of my wheels are kind of in sync with their rhythms. It's also called the mirror neuron effect. And then it's kind of functioning according to their maybe even obsessive compulsive patterns. And I need to regularly recalibrate my own body clock such that if there's some wheel which is not functioning as well, it's kind of stuck in a pattern. So it can, this is home, we all work together back into our own music. Otherwise, we are becoming somebody else like. We are kind of becoming like the environment or what they're eating according to the health they are maintaining. And then we become like them. If they are unhealthy, we become unhealthy. So to maintain our own health, yeah, is what I'm calling as healthy natural breathing. So that I'm recalibrating my body clock to function as being me. Being me. Otherwise, I become like somebody else. So to maintain being me, that takes some work. It takes at least 10 vayus. Yeah, 10 vayus. And then, so that's also in the Shri Chakra, they're calling it as Sarva Rakshakara Chakra. Yeah, there's at least like 10. It's got 10 vayus and all that. Yeah. And then there is, when the 10 vayus, for example, it's also called the Dasha Mahavidya. Yeah. When we are functioning, this is sarva rakshakara. When we are taking care, dharmo rakshati rakshita, yeah. So we are rakshaing, yeah, protecting our own dharma of our own body. Then the dashavatara, the hormonal rhythmic patterns by which our body goes through at least 10 avatars, yeah, through the year, according to different seasons and yeah, work. And so that's why we also have a calendar with 12 months, because there are these different patterns there. So that's 12. You say, but Dashavatara is talking about 10, but it's kind of paced in such. Okay, I'll tell you this. Time and space are slightly differently calculated. You know, if we go by the clock, then we have, say, 12. When we go by space, it's slightly different a calculation. I'm guessing a 1.5 difference. Yeah. I'm yet to ascertain, but it seems like a 1.5. Time and space are related by a difference of 1.5. I'm still checking on that one. It seems like it. Yeah. Why I say that is because unless it is showing up so consistently over many times of how I'm doing the calculations, I don't ascertain as, yeah, that's true. Maybe, once fluke, twice fluke, that could be that. I still haven't ascertained on how many times it needs to show up before I can say, yeah, this is not just a fluke. But I'm going by, I've seen it a few times, not so sure, but maybe, yeah. So, so it's a scientific method, yeah. So it's got to meet a certain critical criteria before I can say now, no, this is better taken as true. For all practical purposes, unless there is further evidence to the contrary, I'm going to have to take this as maybe this is true. Yeah. So this is also how I develop my original human intelligence. Yeah. The different four verticals of meristome intelligence, original human intelligence facilitation. So I'm developing, improving the quality. And it seems like the Sri Chakra is emerging from my conscience. So there's a certain science to it. So I'm kind of reverse transcribing. I wouldn't say reverse engineering, but because engineering has a certain mechanical thing to it. But I think there is physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology too. So that's not only engineering. I think it's a reverse transcription. Yeah, because there's a certain language to it, and its language is a certain fluid, has a certain structure which is different from just engineering. I think it's a concrete, fluid, and then crystalline, fluid, concrete, and then combinations there. So it's not just engineering. There's something more to it. So, okay, that's why I tend to call it as meristome intelligence. There's this fine, logical, intuitive, many kinds of intelligence. Google at least says there are 9 kinds of intelligence. I'm thinking meristome intelligence 10, or maybe I'm just, yeah. There's a fine thing to it. There's a fine set of sciences. I call it as conglomerate science. Conscience, yeah. Conglomerate science. Okay. As I've been recalibrating my own body, because when things go a little off, like say there is a wound or one of the body clock is not functioning as well as needs to, then it's kind of a little at variance with the other clocks. That could cause a little, it's like cog in the wheel. Yeah. And then the body is not functioning as fine. And then there is again, one problem, and then the integrity of the whole system is not as well as it needs to be. And that could give rise to frictions between the wheels, different physiological processes, and that causes inflammation and disease. So between the physical, intellectual, spatiotemporal, conscience, emotional, social consciousness, there comes a little dis-ease, lack of ease, inflammation, those kinds of things. Yeah. And then the noise is sweeping. Why do you call it as inflammation? Is there tend to be 6, I tend to see 6 signs of inflammation. Sonar or sounds you make, calor or the heat, the variations in temperature, rubor or redness, yeah. Um, some, yeah, redness is also It could also be in complexion, but could also be in when there is inflammation. Say you get a wound, there is change in color. Yeah, that's also from the inflammation in that region. Dolor or pain, different kinds of pain. So it could be also emotional pain. So you can't really see anything, but there is a certain pain. It could be an emotional pain. Yeah. So dolor, and then tumor or swelling. It could also be you're crying. You don't just simply cry for no reason because there's something that is swelling up from within. Yeah, and then so where do tears come from? Also inflammation. Of it could be happy inflammation or sad inflammation. It could still there is some leak. Yeah, fluid, tumor. Yeah. So some call it as cancer. That's also tumor, but it's basically swelling. It's just from there's a certain pace and then there's swelling. So for example, a coronary disease is a swelling of the coronary arteries, for example. And when you restore the swelling of the coronary arteries, you don't have a heart condition. Yeah. Just the same. Way to look at health. And then the sixth is functional ESA. Now, Google will tell you sonar is not included. Now, I found people make different kinds of sounds when they're not healthy versus when they're healthy. Yeah. So I added the word sonar. Yeah. So the traditional or what we have been seeing as signs of inflammation is the one of the things functional ESA. You function a little less, not as well as you'd like to. Maybe you're spending more time in front of the television and then, moving between channels and not really somebody's saying to you, you're listening and then back to your own thing, but not as active as you could be. Yeah. For example, you've hurt. You don't move that part of your body so much. You go a little slow. Yeah. One leg versus the other. And then if that continues for long, then you have an imbalance between the left and that side of the body and the other complementary parts. That's also how you can visually see if something is not as it needs to be. Yeah. So it's also functional as well. That part is not functioning as well. So if we consider our life to have at least 16 factions, yeah. So all of them, okay, let's just say at least 8. 2 times 8 is 16, yeah. So the weaves, the Sri Chakra is talking about 16 petals. So for us to have at least 16 factions functioning as well as it needs to be, like 16 areas of life, yeah. And then Sri Chakra is actually talking about 36 dashes and 36 dots, like the gateway has 36 lines and 36 points together, which forms 72 to form the gateway, which means 72 ragas. The Melakarta ragas chart is having 72 ragas. And humanity over time is now mostly singing about 35 ragas. The rest, they're not singing as much, which means, and we have WHO list of diseases, which means how much we don't know about maintaining health, wealth, and wisdom. How much we've kind of gone to a little space. Yeah. So there are different kinds of inflammation which we don't know about. Yeah. It's also because of which people are listening to frequencies and energies and vibration, trying to get as well as we could. The stories, the weaves of our life is also functioning from not all the 72 is functioning as well as we need to. Yeah. Maybe it's just come to like maybe 35. How many areas of life do you know about? And how many are functioning as well as you need to? What do you care about? Your cares talk about how many areas of life you have. Yeah. Okay. You're all getting better. So I'm making sounds here. So if any of this makes sense to you, then contact me or look at the Sri Chakra or stay tuned. You will hear more sounds of life. So you can recognize, oh, there is this also. And then you make small changes. For example, get a, yeah, all written nice, little yellow. You got these yellow smiley faces, magnets, for example. You could get a plush little pillow like that. A little happy sunshine around you. Yeah. And then you'll remember to, oh, there is smile. Even if you feel a little gloomy, you just look at it and somehow that has a mirror neuron effect on you. And then you somewhat, over time, you begin to start smiling a little more. That's something that I've noticed. At some point in time from here, yellow became part of my living space. And then I've been smiling a little more. It's just become a natural. Yeah, it's just a mirror neuron effect. Then over time, other colors became part of my house. And then it's not like, Santa threw up here. No. We got all kinds of colors. It's beautiful. And I'm making all kinds of sounds and then weaving all kinds of stories and all. Yeah. I'm also talking about a living life in the multiverse and all that. Yeah. So at least the sunny side up. Yeah. Sun, all the light of your cares, becoming love, becoming true love, that becomes possible. A little yellow smiley magnets. Yeah. Yellow color around your house. A little bit. Now, having said that, as I've been doing all of this and then restoring the body clock, body composition of my maintaining being me, there are people I noticed who drink hydrogenated water. Okay. The sun began fusing hydrogen into helium around 4.55 billion years ago, and Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars formed around 4.5 billion years ago. Which means, just like the sun, when began fusing hydrogen into helium, over time caused planets to form. I am thinking maybe people who are looking through telescopes will be able to tell for sure. Particles, there are also asteroids and comets and many kinds of particulate matter in the solar system. They may be in some way fusing to form planet-like composition in our solar system, at least. In the sense, they are coming into orbit around the sun. Because I'm healing earth, water, fire, air, spirit, space from my own body's composition. Now, the Sri Chakra is talking about 7 chakras. Yeah. Um, Muladhara, Muladhara Chakra, Swadhisthana Chakra, Manipuraka Chakra, Anahata Chakra, Vishuddha Chakra, yeah, Ajna Chakra, and Sahasrara Chakra. So 7, in our face itself, there are 7 holes. Yeah. And then we have 3 in between our legs. Yeah. And from the information, our body forming from these 7 senses, 7 dhatus at least. Our body formed from the belly button, from mother's womb. And so we are a very sensory organism. I've been talking in terms of 6 senses. Now we have a 7th. Yeah. The 7th may be the sense of self. And 8th is, I'm thinking, nothing. And 9th is everything. Yeah. Eve, breathing. Yeah. Because Eve was said to have formed from the ribs of Adam. Yeah. So when we are able to breathe healthy naturally from our ribs also, then we are no more in the cage, the silo of our own body. Yeah. And we begin to start freeing ourselves from being in the rib cage. It's like Devaki and Vasudeva. Krishna's parents, they were in the cage, yeah, in jail, in Kamsa's, yeah, jail. And we begin to start freeing ourselves. That's like Hanuman, Sita and Rama in the chest, yeah. So when you're breathing from your rib cage also, and that takes a little bit of healthy and natural breathing. You don't want to, if you're not doing it the right way, you don't want to get into entanglement. You don't want to get into problem. Yeah. So contact me. That would be better. You could also watch the videos that I made on diaphragm breathing. What have I done? Bunny teeth breathing, bunny teeth exercise, navel breath. So there are 3 exercises that I put up on the channel. Just go through it. So you'll have a little idea of how a little bit of movement lessig, or what I'm calling as healthy natural breathing. So it's a stepwise process. There's also eyelid breathing that I've mentioned about a little bit, little by little, because you don't want to, you got to do it the right way. You don't want to just presume things and yeah. So I'm thinking of putting up content more on my Patreon account. So you can learn in a stepwise manner. So do contact me. Um, because I want it to be responsible learning. It's not just you presume something and then it becomes not so very, um, you want to do the right thing. Yeah. You don't want to get into trouble. If you're in, you want to be able to contact me so that if there's any trouble, I'll be able to recognize, if you do that, that's not the trajectory which you want to go, because you could some steps down, there is this problem there. You don't know about it. So those who have experience, I've been working on this for some years now, I'll be able to tell, if you do this, then this, you, immediately you may not see it, but down the line, there is this thing. I'll be able to guide you there. There is this thing. Yeah. Well, so it's like all these wheels are very finely connected. If you don't know the signs by which one is going off, uh, then you don't know how the integrity of the whole system goes a little off. Yeah. So it takes some learning to know how these all different systems are functioning together. So I'll be able to listen. Yeah. Um, which is why I call it heart. It's like HEAR, hear, T. So it's also Shrauta, hearing. So it's like Karna. Your body becomes like the Kavacha and Kundala. Yeah. So you hear, and then gold didn't form overnight. Yeah, it took some time to form. Ooh, I'm from KGF, Kolar Goldfields. So from the ore to refining it to gold, that takes some work. So you're hearing gold, yeah, and what you hear, what you need to hear, that takes some what to listen for, such that it's gold and not becoming something else. Yeah, ennobling. Yeah, and then your truth is the kavacha by which you function, and to discern which is true and which is false, you should look at artificial intelligence. Yeah, and look at the different circuses that's going on between true news and fake news. Yeah, then you'll know discernment, how much of discernment is required. And I'm talking about original human intelligence at a time when people are functioning using artificial intelligence, which is in different stages of arriving at artificial general intelligence and not even original human intelligence. So I'm talking, so this is advanced, yeah, several fine refinement. It's a large language model in and of itself. It's nature's original technology. Yeah. I call it no technology. Yeah. Like NO. Yeah. Technology. So my conscience, I'm saying Sri Chakra is emerging from my conscience. So there are these fine little details. So which is why I'm thinking I'll put up some refined content on my Patreon account. Yeah, Patreon account. Now, people are drinking hydrogenated water. I think their system is also going through some kind of refinement, because we're all on planet Earth and people are talking about DNA updates. Yeah, and those kinds of things. I'm not doing anything. All I'm doing is breathing healthy and naturally, maintaining being me. But the human morphic resonance field may be getting updated with how to become better human beings. Yeah. And it's an ecological process, nature-based process, because Earth is also functioning by circadian rhythms. And I'm improving my own bodily substance. So I'm becoming a better me. That is called as mythology, like little me, big me, and my world. As my, as I'm becoming better, it's like degree, like say third, okay, fourth, fifth. Yeah, there's TH. So my TH-ology. I'm studying my own self, becoming better. So I'm today better than what I was yesterday. And then I'm becoming a humane being. And then I'm facilitating original human intelligence and I'm teaching. So mythology. And then, and I've been doing this during the 2 years of the pandemic. Yeah. So a lot of our systems have been affected by, there used to be rat material during the bubonic plague and all that. Plaque. Yeah. And now we have corona and bacteria and many kinds of, yeah, everyday microorganisms we eat from our, say, from our neighbor, yeah, or from the restaurant, then those microorganisms, they call it epigenetics. We also have genetic material, yeah, epigenetic, congenital material, and family tree material, the earth, water, fire, spirit, space, according to, it's also, they call it as Lissajous patterns from different environmental influences also, say, having an impression on earth, water, fire, spirit, space, forming patterns, forming biofilm, yeah? And then healthy natural breathing is a way by which to improve the biofilm such that our body is not forming stagnant water or stagnant earth, water, fire, spirit, space, by which our body composition is having, say, for example, microorganisms. Instead of forming healthy gut bacteria, they are giving rise to unhealthy patterns. And then, excuse me, over time, maybe some disease forms. Yeah. So when you're regularly cleaning your own house, improving the water quality, earth, water, fire, spirit, space, improving the quality of your own content, then um, the space in which we are living, what you're speaking, the truth of the matter is able to become better, which is also what's called as a Vishuddha. Yeah. 16 factions. You're weaving a better life. And then you're speaking that weave. Yeah. That's also how we, over time, um, people join together. Yeah. Um, whom you include in your life. There's this idea of dig, dada, dig. Einstein, they call it the an Einstein paradox, where there is a square with four pebbles, and then you include one pebble at a time. I tend to call it as dig dada dig. Yeah, you include one at a time, and then you got it still continues to remain so many pebbles in spite of including one. Yeah. So how is it possible? Yeah. So so as you're slowly including new circles, new people, your Sahasrara forms. Yeah. You're not just functioning by 36 or so many people in your life, but what you care about, how your container becomes better. So you can include, you can continue to care about many things. Now I'm caring about Earth and the different the planets of the solar system and different galaxies and the universe and multiverse and all that there is out there. Yeah, different systems. So it's like a boson. Yeah, you're all whole numbers. And then as it's called a scalar boson. Boson, as you're able to include little by little what you can care about, your container becomes better. That's called this scalar boson. You become a bigger person, a person with a it's not just bigger heart. Yeah, it's about your whole body, not just limited to this little frog in the well. Yeah, but your wellness improves. Yeah, you're weller and weller. So there was this idea when I began my therapeutic practice as a student that as I do weller and weller, my space gets better and better. And how to convert the bitter butter to better butter is also how you do better and better. So when you do better by converting the bitter into better, that's also how your space improves. The sukha and dukkha improves. Yeah, or the life precipitated from sukha and dukkha, also from influences from different influencers, spheres of influence, and you convert the bitter to better. That's also called visha chikitsa. Yeah, sometimes there's toxins, sometimes there's fertilizers and different microplastics and different things. So ajirne bhojanam visham. What you're not able to digest is what becomes poison. Yeah. So when you can metabolize the different influences on your body, health begins to become better. Yeah. That is also what I call as mythology. It's the original humane intelligence. So do let me know if any of this resonates with you, you're curious, or you like questions answered. I charge an affordable fee because I go to pay my bills. I also go to pay taxes to the government. Yeah. So I would like to be a for-profit enterprise. Yeah, because that's what I'm working towards. Life is a for-profit enterprise. In this big wide universe, people are still searching for another planet that has life or can hold life like Earth does. So life on Earth, uh, doing a job, yeah? And I'm talking for life, for Earth, for life. What is possible from living life in the multiverse? Okay, so this is a message to millions. This is a message to human beings because human beings can turn around how things are functioning in what we call as nature, nurture. People are also trying to, land on Mars. Yeah, they've been trying to go to moon since some time, and now they've been able to land on moon. Yeah, because there's a certain math that needs to be fulfilled, a certain criteria that needs to be fulfilled, which is when there is mission success. So when you're doing things that is the right way by nature, I call it as almighty dotting, or the enterprise, which is having life be a for-profit enterprise. Because in this whole big wide universe, we got lots of balls, we got lots of particles and vehicles, and one planet that holds life or holds life in such a way that human beings are forming who can turn around the matter of how life is, turn around the situation, turn around the tide from devolution to evolution, becoming better, more sun-like, creating planets, life and living planets. Because around 4.5 billion years ago is when sun, because of fusing hydrogen to helium, a few years down the line from there, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars formed. Yeah. So Almighty Dotting would like more humane beings, like my kind of people. And I teach what I'm doing. I'm calling it as Move With Less Yoga, healthy natural breathing. Do contact me and we will improve our own metabolism because several of the lifestyle diseases is from metabolic concerns. So let's improve what is possible from having a body that's human. Yeah. Because they've not really studied the human body. Yeah. And I have been since a few years. So I'll be able to provide you perspectives because different people are looking at our same human body from different medical perspective. Allopathy from their perspective, homeopathy from their perspective, pranic healing from their perspective, Ayurveda from their perspective. Different people have also an attachment to things. Or pranic healing, you'll say no things, but they are attached to technology, a technique, more energy-based and not matter-based as much. There's a certain difference in consciousness, practices. Reiki has a different approach, or their view of, I'm thinking pranic healing people, their view of what prana is. Because I've been listening to the definitions and I'm thinking it's a little tiny. It's not entirely like that. Because the person who started pranic healing, yeah, I have people talk in terms of meeting Babaji and other enlightened beings and all that. At some point, as I was healing the fabric of time space, I kind of had the sense of this person who originated pranic healing. And I was thinking, why did he die? Yeah. And so there is some fine details. For example, the how-to of healing, the practice of healing itself. Um, Small little grammar. For example, he may not have known that our human body is from Prakriti and Purusha working together in a yab-yum format. It's called the homunculus. Yeah? Where the masculine and feminine nature nurture are very finely like hand in glove. So he was talking about the twin heart meditation, but there are some missing perspectives and fine details. So my method of healing has some factors which others may not have been able to see. Yeah. And I'm still retranscribing how I've been doing things into new referenceable format. So I'm making text, making drawings, so people can see what is it I've been doing, how have I been healing the fabric of time space. Yeah. So this is like Parashakti writing the text, yeah, on how to Parashakti, how to um, turn around the tide. Yeah. Okay. So little by little, it's a hard problem of consciousness. Yeah. To do the hard work of from the got the soft to seeable. Yeah, you have the idea, you're painting, and then it's like, what are you painting? How exactly does the, an ice cube going down your spine feel like? And then you got to write it. Yeah. So describe the indescribable. So I'm describing what may have been hitherto indescribable. Yeah. So a little bit of word searching is there. So I'm using one word at one point in time, and then I'm building things, and then I say, no, this word is kind of doing this. Then there's a better word from there. So I regularly redistribution of units and then improve the construct and then say there is this new word. When this is there, it's like code correction. How did the internet form? A few signs, symbols, numbers they put together, and then in a particular combination, and then there is bugs. This symbol at this place is causing a problem, and then you got to move it in another place. Yeah. So slowly, I'm coding for Earth. Yeah. Coding for life in the multiverse. So, life in the multiverse. Yeah. So do stay tuned. It's a large language model. Yeah. So coding, I'm talking about math, physics, chemistry, biology, social sciences, and languages, and many kinds of things. Yeah. We are still listing. Yeah. How many subjects have you? It's a conglomerate science. Conscience, not just consciousness. So there's a truth map. The truth keeps getting better as you discover, oh, this is causing a bug. Yeah. We got to change that into another symbol or sign or code. It's also called perspective counter. So I'm working on small, fine little details. Okay. Thank you so much for your interest. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you would contact me soon because I got bills to pay too. So when you are able to invest and then contribute to me being able to pay the bills, you get the benefit from Almighty Inc. also, because it's called punya or grace from doing the right things. When you're helping me do the right things, because by investing in my enterprise, you'll be helping me code for Earth, code for life better, sooner. Because some of the challenges I'm facing with how to pay the bills. So if I don't have to worry about that, then I'll be just focused on, doing the work of enlivening life in the multiversal universe, enlivening me. So you, contemporaries, future generations, you're all living the good life. Yeah. So when you invest, we can work on those finer details. So nobody is having to die anytime soon. Yeah, nobody's hurt. Okay, nobody is having to die anytime soon. We got to work on fine details. So the sooner you're investing, you'll be able to tell me what you're able to see. So that's, and then we interact, we talk, and then create better, make things better, create better systems. So we all do well. Yeah. So I got to look at finer details that I've just come to, oh, there's this to think about too. So I got to look at those details. So thank you so much for listening. I hope this has been of value to you. Good day.